Hey guys, today we're going to talk about man-made crystals versus natural crystals. I'm not going to go over all the different types of man-manipulated, man-made types of stones because there's so many, but I can hit on a couple different kinds of man-manipulated or man-made stones that are commonly found in the crystal community and stuff like that. The reason why I want to talk about this is that there's this debate of, is a man-made stone or a man-manipulated stone less powerful in energy or vibration than a natural stone? And this is a really good question, and ultimately it's really going to come down to personal preference, but I can give you some reasons why I connect with man-made stones still and why I feel like they're not any less powerful than natural ones. So without further blabbering, let's get on to the discussion. So the first kind of man-manipulated option is lab-created gems. There can be sapphires, rubies, diamonds, all kinds of different lab-created gems. Now, usually it tends to lean more towards the gems you see in earrings, the more faceted ones like diamonds and things like that. But it can also be other kinds, but for the majority it seems that they are the sapphires, rubies, aquamarines, stuff like that. So what does it mean when a gem is lab created? Now this means that the gem is actually created in a lab perfect environment for that crystal to grow in. So scientists find out how a crystal is grown, and then they give that crystal the perfect environment to grow in so that there's less opportunity for it to grow occlusions or little tiny imperfections in it. So this can create a pretty much perfect crystal, but it also has given people the option where they can get gems cheaper than they would if they were natural, because finding a gem that's that pure from a natural state can get really expensive. So a lot of these lab created gems are replacements for natural gems, but they're a lot more affordable for the regular average non-billionaire. The next one is an imitation crystal. Now this is a crystal that is made to look like the stone, but is not made up of the same chemical compounds that the actual stone is made out of. So a lot of times this can be made out of glass or something similar, but a lot of times they'll just make it look like it, but it won't be. So think of gems that you could find on costume jewelry and stuff like that. So they're made to look like the gems, but they aren't the gems because they don't have the same geological compound that the natural or lab created stone has. So this kind of brings us around to the man-created crystals. Think of goldstone or opalite or bismuth, and those crystals are made up of man-made materials. So if you think about it, opalite is actually made out of glass, and sometimes it can be called spectroglass for this reason. But if you think about it, glass is made up of silicon dioxide, aka quartz, limestone, and soda ash, and it can vary glass to glass, but the majority of glass is made up of those compounds. And all those different elements have metaphysical properties to them as well. So quartz obviously has the properties of quartz, metaphysical properties. So then you think about limestone. Limestone has its own metaphysical properties to it. And then you think about soda ash, and I'm sure that has earthy properties and things like that to it. But then you bring all of those together and you create glass. So then in cases like goldstone, blue goldstone, regular goldstone, green goldstone, whatever, you add things like silver flecks, copper flecks, things like that, make these crystals happen. So then you get that added benefit of copper in it. So really it does have metaphysical properties if you really break it down into those little sections. So in cases like opalite, you're adding metal ioxide or milky coloring to the glass to add to whatever is there initially. So you do have metaphysical properties to it because if you think about it, everything has energy. So you do have those metaphysical properties to it, but it may be just more broken down than a natural crystal. But that doesn't mean that they're less effective than natural ones. Now, going into other kind of man-treated crystals, there's heat-treated crystals. So this gets really interesting because the heat-treated crystals are crystals that are treated with high levels of heat. hence the name heat treated. A lot of times they can be treated with really high temperatures to alter the color or enhance the color of the crystal. So a lot of times sapphires and rubies are put through this, and even some diamonds are put through this to kind of melt out the impurities and make it more clean, more clear, and enhance that color. So with sapphires, it will get more blue. With aquamarine, it will get more blue. With amethyst, it will turn into a pale yellow, so it could be sold as citrine. And interesting enough, citrine is usually actually a quartz that's heat treated and turns into a more darker yellow color. So a lot of citrines you can see on the market might actually be quartz that's heat treated. Aura coatings are some of my absolute favorite kind of crystals. Think about aqua aura, angel aura, apple aura, flame aura, opal aura. All of these are incredibly beautiful crystals and have great metaphysical properties. But some people are wary of them because they aren't really from their natural state. They're altered in some way. So the way that these are altered is the crystal, usually quartz, but there have been other crystals used such as amethyst and stuff like that. But commonly quartz is used and put into a situation where a kind of metal is bonded to it. So this could be gold, silver, platinum, titanium, a bunch of different metals. I could go on and on. But a lot of these cause this effect where it gets this rainbow aura effect. So think of the northern lights and rainbows and this bright splash of color on the front, but then you also have this color in the background, such as the quartz color for angel aura or the blue color for aqua aura, and it just makes it absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And a lot of people are worried about this because they're like, well, does that bring down the metaphysical properties of it because it's treated in this way? And I personally don't believe so. In wrapping this whole discussion up, I really do personally feel that it doesn't alter the metaphysical properties and the energies you could work with on these crystals. So all in all, it's really about us using our power and bringing the power of whatever is in that crystal and combining it with our personal energy and using that combined energy to make something happen. So always think about that. But I do encourage you that if you feel hesitant about buying a man-made crystal or a man-treated crystal or anything like that, think about it, sit with the energy of the crystal, see how it interacts with your energy, and if it feels good, I would go ahead and buy it and work with it and really accept that energy. But don't push it away just because it's man-created or man-manipulated, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, it just means it's different. So I totally encourage you guys to try it out. Work with some man-made crystals, work with some man-treated crystals, and see how you feel about it. And I want to know your guys' opinions down in the comments below, because this is a really interesting topic for me, and I do find it's really helpful for other people to have other people's opinion on this. So go ahead and feel free to leave your opinions in the comments down below, but do please keep it civil. We're not trying to cause a debate where we're fighting or hurting feelings or anything like that, but I do want to know your opinion because I find it really interesting. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more videos from me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!